Welcome to this explainer. Okay, let's dive straight in, because today we've got a fantastic and absolutely crucial topic lined up for you. We're going to completely demystify Spanish verbs that end in ER and IR. Now look, if you've ever felt totally overwhelmed staring at endless textbook charts of Spanish grammar, believe me, you are not alone. It happens to everyone, but don't sweat it. Our goal today is to basically crack the code of these verbs, giving you the building blocks so you can start using them in real-life, everyday conversations right now. By the end of this, you're going to see just how logical this whole system really is.
So, here's our quick roadmap for today. First, we'll meet the action words. 2, time and frequency words. 3, cracking the ER code. 4, cracking the IR code. And finally, number 5, putting verbs to work.
All right, part 1, meet the action words. Let's get some foundational vocabulary down.
Here we have two super common ER verbs. First up is beber, which means to drink. Imagine taking a nice, refreshing sip of ice-cold water. That action right there is beber. Right next to it is leer, to read. Picture yourself just getting completely lost in a great book. Beber and leer. Go ahead and say them out loud if you want, and really lock in those vivid, real-world associations. Now let's add a couple of IR verbs to our mental dictionary. We've got escribir, meaning to write. Just envision yourself grabbing a pen and jotting down some notes. You're doing the action of escribir. And beside that is a really fun one. Ir de compras, which means to go shopping. So whenever you're wandering through the store, arms full of bags, you are doing the action of ir de compras.
Moving right along to section 2, time and frequency words. This is where we add a little spice.
You see, to make our sentences sound natural, we need to talk about how often we do things. We use frequency words like todos los días for every day and cada día for each day. Then there's a veces for sometimes, a menudo for often, siempre for always, and nunca for never. Seriously, I want you to memorize these little guys. They are the absolute secret sauce to taking beginner, chunky sentences and making them sound incredibly conversational and naturally flowing.
Okay, let's get to the good stuff. Section 3, cracking the ER code. So we have our action words and we have our frequency words, but here's the catch. You can't just throw raw dictionary form verbs into a sentence. It's like talking like a caveman. We have to conjugate them. We need to crack the code of how these verbs actually change, depending on who is doing the action. And I promise you, it's so much simpler than it looks. Let's look at the verb comer, to eat. Notice the perfect rhyming rhythm of the endings, O, S, A, emos, N. If I'm eating, yo como. You eat, tú comes. He or she eats, come. We eat, comemos. They eat, comen. Just focus on that little musical pattern right there. O, S, A, emos, N. It's just a simple formula. Let me walk you through the actual mechanics of this step by step. Think of it like a recipe. Let's take another ER verb, beber, to drink. Step 1, grab the raw verb. Step 2, chop off that ER ending like a master chef, which leaves you with just the core stem, beb. And step 3, you just plug in the ending that matches your subject. I drink is bebo. You drink is babies. He drinks is bebe. Guys, once you grasp this simple 3-step rule, you can literally unlock any regular ER verb in the Spanish language. It's a total game changer.
Let's keep this momentum going. Section 4, cracking the IR code.
For the IR verb vivir, meaning to live, take a really close look at these endings. Vivo, vives, vive, vivimos, viven, or O, S, A, emos, N. Look familiar? I want you to notice how incredibly similar this pattern is to the ER table we literally just looked at. Almost all of the endings are exactly the same. If you master the ER verbs, this next part is going to be an absolute breeze. So what is the actual difference between the ER code and the IR code? Well, it's almost entirely found in the nosotros form, the we form. For ER verbs, we use an E, comemos. For IR verbs, we swap that for an I, vivimos. That is literally the one major difference you need to remember to keep these two codes perfectly straight in your head. Easy, right? Vivir, to live your life. Just pause for a second and anchor that meaning visually. Lock this verb into your memory, because we are about to jump into a rapid-fire practice session and you are definitely going to need it.
All right, the moment of truth. Section 5, putting verbs to work. Let's solve some real-world scenarios. Here is your very first scenario. ¿Qué come Miguel en el desayuno? What does Miguel eat for breakfast? Now, before I just give you the answer, actively think about the structure. Miguel is the subject, right? Which means he falls under he or él. So how exactly do we conjugate comer? Boom! See how the formula works? Miguel come pan tostado. We take the name Miguel, match it perfectly with the L form of the verb, which is come, and apply it directly to the word for toast. Subject, conjugated verb, vocabulary. It's just beautifully done.
Let's keep the pace brisk here. I'm going to throw a two-part question at you to test your growing confidence. ¿Quién es ella y qué come en el desayuno? Who is she, and what does she eat for breakfast?
And the answers unfold so clearly. First, we identify the subject. Ella es la niña. She is the girl. Next, we connect that subject straight to the action. La niña come galletas. The girl eats cookies. Notice how the come ending stays exactly the same whether the subject is Miguel or la niña. That's because they both sit neatly in that third-person singular category.
Okay, let's challenge you with an IR verb this time. ¿Qué comparte el niño en el almuerzo? What does the boy share for lunch? Dig back to our early vocabulary list. Remember the word compartir. It means to share.
El niño comparte pollo. The boy shares chicken. We took that raw IR verb, compartir, chopped off the ending like we practiced, and added the E for the L form to make comparte. By mastering the simple grammar code, you've literally just unlocked the ability to easily describe the exact world around you.
Let's do one more. ¿Qué preferimos nosotros en el almuerzo? What do we prefer for lunch? I want you to think hard and recall that tricky nosotros exception we highlighted earlier, specifically for IR verbs like preferir. What was it?
Yes, exactly. Nosotros preferimos papas fritas. We prefer French fries. Look at how all the pieces just fit together perfectly like a puzzle. You have the pronoun nosotros, the properly conjugated verb with that crucial I replacing the E to make preferimos, and of course the irresistible food vocabulary, papas fritas. You are building complete, accurate Spanish sentences.
So, we've broken down the rules, we've cracked the codes, and we've practiced with Miguel and the kids. But now I have to ask you directly. ¿Y tú? ¿Dónde vives y qué comes todos los días? Where do you live, and what do you eat every day? You see, language isn't just about memorizing dry charts. It's the actual tool we use to describe our very existence. The next time you sit down for a meal or write a note, ask yourself, do you know the code to describe it? The world is waiting for your answer. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next one.